So, like she said, my name's Daisy. I'm from Memphis. I've been affected 4 years. I had just finished completing my bachelor's degree and working about 2 years out of college when I became affected. I first noticed that I was losing my vision when I was driving. I've suffered from migraines for about 16 years, and a part of getting migraines is, for me, is that I experience this kind of aura before the migraine starts, where for me it's an ocular, kind of like a clue to your body, hey, this is coming, it's a warning, like, get in bed, get dark. And so I started experiencing similar symptoms to that initially, so I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't be driving to work, I need to go back home, I'm going to be down for a few hours. But the migraine never came, and the visual loss and what I was happening did not go away. So I saw just a regular old optometrist, never had glasses or contacts, always had perfect vision. And she just was like, oh, you just need just a mild prescription for some glasses. Your eyes are strained. I was commuting 2 hours a day for work and under fluorescent lights. And she was like, you're just strained. It's fine. So I did that for a while. So it started to get worse and started having some different symptoms. And it took about 6 months of going to different doctors around the country and doing more tests than I ever thought you could do on your eyes. And before I finally got a diagnosis. And for a lot of people, I think it might be frustrating wanting to know answers, but I really, for whatever reason, had a pretty good peace about it. I wasn't just so anxious to know what it was. I just wanted it to level out so that I could adapt and continue doing my life. As with many of you, I'm sure the biggest change for me was not driving anymore and losing that aspect of independence. Especially being new to the workforce as an adult and, kind of doing life on my own, like that really was just a big bite of humble pie. And so I took a year off of work and was able to get on disability and get connected with vocational rehab. Which is an amazing, amazing service. If you're newly affected and you have not explored that, definitely contact your state disability office and do that, because it's a wonderful resource that provided me with a center in Jackson, Tennessee, where I'm originally from, which is just right in between here and Memphis. A center for the blind that has all sorts of assistive tech, mobility services, people that would come to my house and, put stickers on my microwave or my oven so that I could, feel and tell, what to do and things like that. So that was a really good outlet for me to be able to adjust, and just made the transition extremely smooth. So that year off was kind of a healing year to adjust and just reacclimate myself with life. And so then once the dust sort of settled, I was like, okay, now what? I mean, I'm 20 at this point, maybe about 25. And said, okay, well, I'm not just going to stop living. Like, I'm not just going to sit on my butt all day. Like, I want to work. And I just spent 4 years trying to work, so what am I going to do? So I had a little bit of background working in a spa when I was in college. And I always had really enjoyed massage, and it just kind of dawned on me, I could do that. That's just using my hands. Like, I don't have to have any vision to do that. Everything I could think of involved, reading or a computer or having to see faces. And at the time, I didn't realize how helpful assistive tech would be to where I still could do those things. So I explored massage therapy and toured some schools and decided that that's the path that I wanted to take. So I used the assistive tech that was provided to me, and the school that I attended was extremely accommodating. I had some like projector and Zoom devices and voiceover and audio textbooks, things that help me take tests and, hear the material. I did a lot of recording the lectures instead of, note-taking. I just recorded it and sat and actually tried to absorb it all. So it was a new learning experience for me, but I found that I'm actually a really good audible learner. So it was kind of neat. I always thought I was a visual learner, but I never explored it this way because I didn't have to. I actually discovered that I was born to do massage therapy. It's my favorite thing in the whole wide world. And, people ask me all the time, did you just do that because you're blind, or I bet you're really good at that? And I say, well, I think I am, but it's actually, it sounds odd to say, but I'm so thankful that I became affected and lost my vision, because otherwise I probably would never have gone into massage therapy. And I have built so many relationships, and the independence that I've lost has birthed a lot of relationships, and I've explored other paths that I wouldn't have otherwise. I Uber just about every single day of my life, and I should have stock in Uber. I don't know if there's any stock options, but it's an awesome service, and yes, it is a little costly, but when you need it, it's so worth it. In Memphis, our public transportation is just atrocious. So in Jackson, where I was originally from, we had awesome public transportation. So I was able to use the local public transportation had a handicapped feature for a short bus, so to speak, that you could make an appointment and it would come to your house or the mall, wherever you were. It would pick you up and take you where you needed to go for like $2. So if your town has something like that and you haven't been using it, explore it. Or if you are in a big city and you have, the train, utilize public transportation, even if it's out of your comfort zone, because it is your friend and it will make life so easy. And a lot of times, I got an extension on my taxes, and I actually was able to have a pretty large write-off on my Uber expenses because I was using my already taxed income from my job to pay for work transportation. So it's really not all a burden. I think the biggest thing for me now is if people say all the time, you're so happy, you don't seem like you're, this hasn't defeated you or burdened you, why aren't you more sad about it? And I'm just kind of natural. My name's Daisy, so I'm kind of a flower by nature. I'm just really bubbly and happy all the time. And but it is a choice. I have to choose joy every day because it's so easy to become defeated and depressed and think that LHON is bigger than you and become defined by what you lack physically, and that's just such actual BS. I mean, you are who you were created to be, and you decide who you are, and you are not defined by your disability or your lacks or your shortfalls. So my advice is to keep your head up and choose joy every day, because it makes it a hell of a lot easier when you make the decision to make the best of your situation. Because, none of us can do anything about it at this point. They're making great strides with the research, and I'm super excited to hear from the doctors, and I'm still learning so much. And I've been affected 4 years, but I still feel so I don't know much about this. I'm just kind of rolling along with it and living my life. But things are moving along so well, and technology is so amazing right now. We have so much to be positive about and look forward to, and this doesn't have to be kind of like Nicholas said, we're all different, but this doesn't have to define us or limit us. We just kind of find our path and make the best of it. And someone asked me the other day, do you get so sick of having to tell your story all the time? Because especially riding an Uber, it's a big conversation piece. Well, do you Uber a lot? Or why don't you drive? Or what do you do? How'd you get to do that? So it inevitably comes up. Or in work, people ask me, why are you looking, why can't you read my chart? Or, why are you staring so close at your phone? You're really into that text, aren't you? Like, no, I'm I'm not that obsessed with my phone. Let me explain. So, kind of like what Nate said, that sometimes you try and fake it to make it, because you're like, oh my God, I'm so sick of explaining this over and over. And it can become a little exasperating. But if you can try and see it as an opportunity, in my experience, people have become very encouraged and amazed, because it's not something that a lot of people experience or know someone who experiences. What we have is so rare, that we're really blessed to have this amazing community and people like Lissa that have devoted their lives just because they care, to create this community, and just really be pioneers to lead it and bring us together and grow the research. And that's a huge blessing that we have. So I'm so thankful for everything that she's done. And this is my first conference, so I'm super excited to be here, and made some awesome friends, and can't wait to meet more of you guys and hopefully come back the next several years. And so that's me. That's my story.